This midterm election coverage was brought to you by the New Hampshire, UNH's independent student paper. You can find us online at tnhdigital.com or on social media at the New Hampshire.
Hi, my name is Melanie Matt, and I'm managing editor for the New Hampshire, UNH's student-run newspaper. And today we're going around asking students if they're voting in the midterm election next week and what their priorities are going forward.
I'm Catherine Taylor. I'm actually a grad student. It's my first year of my master's.
Sweet. And so, Catherine, you mentioned that you're voting. Are you voting in New Hampshire or via absentee?
In New Hampshire, but via absentee. I'm voting in the Manchester elections.
Oh, okay. And so what are some of your top priorities as a voter in this year's election?
Definitely protecting a woman's right to choose. I would say that's number one, just because nationally people are trying to take that away. And then also action on environmental issues.
Awesome. And why do you think it's important for other students to get out and vote?
Just because young people are typically the most underrepresented population of voters, and I think it's really important because people in Congress are typically a lot of the older generation who don't understand our new values.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
Yes, my name's Jessie, and I'm a freshman, and my major is psychology.
My name is Julia. I'm also a freshman, but I'm undeclared in COLA right now.
Is this your first time voting in an election?
Yes.
It is. I just turned 18 this summer, so.
Awesome. And so are you guys voting in New Hampshire or via absentee out of state?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
And what are some of your top priorities going into the election?
Oh gosh. Just I want to get educated about it. That's probably a top priority, and learning that I can vote and getting my friends to vote as well.
I feel like a big issue right now is just a lot of different voices being heard, whether that be minorities or women. So I feel like I'm really just looking for someone who's going to show equality to all and just be less closed-minded and really try to see what their decisions, how it's going to affect everyone involved, not just their own people.
Yeah. And if you guys are looking to get educated on some of the main topics, check out tnhdigital.com.
All right,
and
perfect.
So we've been writing a lot of articles just trying to inform students on what's happening for this election, especially in New Hampshire and Durham specifically.
Got it.
So thanks for exercising your right to vote. Spread it. Can you tell us your first and last name and your position here at UNH?
Sure, I'm Jim Ryu. I'm a lecturer here in the English department.
Awesome. And what topics are important for you for the midterm election come next week?
A lot of things: abortion rights, state of our democracy, disinformation, misinformation, many things.
Yeah, and so why do you think it's important for students to get out and vote?
Because really they're voting for their future, and I think it might be harder for students to contextualize where we are historically, because this is all you've known. And this, for a lot of students, their first opportunity to vote. And really, they're voting for the kind of country they want to live in. So I'm just hoping that they take it seriously.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Professor. We hope you have a great day.
All right.
John McDonough, class of 2023-ish, and I am business admin.
And so, John, you mentioned that you're voting in this year's midterm election. Are you voting in New Hampshire or via absentee?
I'm a New Hampshire resident, and I live relatively locally, so I'll be voting in New Hampshire.
Awesome. And why do you think it's important for students to get out and exercise their right to vote?
I think especially as young people, we're the generations that are coming into power in the future, so it's important for us to have our voices heard, especially as somebody who's not super keen on old people running our government and country and state. So I think it's important for young people to get out there and get their voices heard.
Awesome. Thank you so much, John. Have a great day. Now we're headed down to Paul College to see what the business school has to say about voting in next week's midterm election.
I'm Suzanne Roberge. I'm the director of annual giving at Paul College, working with the foundation.
Awesome. And so, Suzanne, what issues are a top priority for you come midterm elections?
I think women's rights are a big one for me, and just finding candidates who listen to their constituents and take that feedback into account is very important to me.
Yeah, and so why do you think students should get out and vote?
Because it shapes our future collectively, and so no matter where you stand on an issue, it's just really important that your voice be heard and that the government hears. That's how they get their feedback, right? Our vote is what provides feedback if someone's not doing a good job, if you think somebody will do a good job. So it's important to get your voice heard that way. It's going to shape things that impact you personally. And while it doesn't feel sometimes like one vote counts, there was an election about Keno in New Hampshire a few years ago. And in the town I live in, one vote was the deciding factor on if that passed or not. So it's really important.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, I'm outside T Hall with
Kaylee Flo. I'm a senior and my major is communication.
I'm Phoebe Mulligan. I'm a senior English major.
And so, guys, are you planning on voting in this year's midterm election?
Yes, of course. Looking forward to it.
Yes, and are you guys voting in New Hampshire or via absentee?
Yeah, I'm registered to vote in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Sweet. And what are your top priorities going into the election?
Definitely with the overturn of Roe v. Wade, we're going to be looking at that. And housing is a super big deal nationwide, but also New Hampshire right now, so looking at that.
Sweet. What about you?
Reproductive rights.
Awesome. And why do you guys think it's important for students to vote?
I think it's just important to get out there and voice your opinion. Everybody, should be able to have a say in what goes on politically here.
Sweet. Anything to add, Phoebe?
Yeah, New Hampshire is a swing state, so it's super important to register and vote here if you're not planning on it. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you guys so much. We hope you have a great day. Can you start by just introducing yourself?
My name is Jim. I'm from Loudon, New Hampshire, and I'm here with folks that are handing out some literature about Jesus Christ.
Awesome. And so, Jim, you mentioned that you're voting in this year's election. What are some of the issues that are a top priority for you?
I guess the top priority for me would be what the worldview they hold as far as life and some of the liberty questions there. So I tend to be someone who prefers a small government and taking care of the things that other folks can't take care of. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.
Hi, can you start by introducing yourself in the organization you're working with today?
Yeah, my name's Kai Parlett. I'm a sophomore. I use she, they pronouns, and I am currently working for the Feminist Majority.
Awesome. And what is the goal of the Feminist Majority?
Right now we're working to get out the vote for candidates who are supportive of women's rights, reproductive rights. So we have flyers for Maggie Hassan, Chris Pappas, and Annie Custer right now.
Awesome. And why do you feel it's important for students to get out and vote?
We've seen a lot in politics recently of rights being taken away, rights being restricted. So I think that right now it's more important than a lot of times in history for people to vote and to exercise their right to vote for things that they believe in, and to elect politicians who align with those viewpoints. And I think that every vote matters, and college students are a huge percentage of the town of Durham right now. So we have a lot of power to sway which way the votes go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Can you start by introducing yourself, name, class, year, major?
Hi, I'm Sarah. Wait, am I supposed to be looking at the camera?
You can, whichever you prefer.
Okay, hi, I'm Sarah. I am a senior. I am a communication major. Yeah.
And so, Sarah, you mentioned voting. Are you voting in New Hampshire or via absentee?
Absentee for New Hampshire.
Cool. And so what issues are your top priority as a voter in this coming election?
Honestly, pretty much anything that's environmental and deeply impacting the environment, and also LGBTQ rights.
Sweet. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right. My name is Sophia. I am a freshman and my major is nutrition.
So, Sophia, being a freshman, is this your first election that you're voting in?
Well, I voted a few months ago, but that was my first time. So it was my first real election, yes.
Awesome. And are you voting in New Hampshire or via absentee?
In New Hampshire.
Cool. And so what are some of your top priority issues going into the midterm?
Probably women's rights for abortion is one of the main things that I'm hoping to keep legal in New Hampshire, but that's really, yeah.
And so why do you feel it's important for students to vote, especially freshmen?
Well, I think that everybody should be able to speak out and have a say in what goes on, and not just our state, but the whole country, and I just think it's important that everybody gets involved.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I'm Steven. I'm a freshman. I'm undeclared.
Awesome. And so, Steven, is this the first election you're voting in?
Second.
Second? Cool. And are you voting in New Hampshire or via absentee?
Absentee.
What are some of the top priorities for you as a voter in this year's election?
I'd say the economy. Yeah, probably the economy.
And why do you think it's important for other students to get out there and vote?
I think I know that young voters aren't the best voters in the country, so I think it's just good for people our age to get involved and fight for issues they believe in.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Those looking to vote in Durham can do so at Oyster River High School, 55 Co Drive. The polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and you're able to fill out same-day voter registration at the polls.
The reporting for this video was done by Melanie Matt, and it was filmed and edited by Alexander Rapp. Thank you.